About 3 days we'll play on some grass and dirt, but turn down the volume on Dick and Bird. Fuck Dick and Bird! Fuck Dick and Bird! St. Paul admitting the law and life, and hitting rock bottom, drugs in the ex-wife. Fuck Dick and Bird! Fuck Dick and Bird! Fuck Dick and Bird! Fuck Dick and Bird! Fuck off! Shit.
Hello and welcome to this thing we call Minnesota Foul Play-by-Play. I'm your host, Anthony Variano, and I'm joined as usual by the brothers Haas, Michael and Bradley. Bradley, how you feeling after the game on Sunday?
Just, a little heartbroken. Typical Vikings fan. I'm not ready to throw in the towel like a lot of people are. Do you see these rumors of the Vikings trading Cousins and shit? Turnovers. Hold on to the fucking ball, and we're 3-0 right now, and everybody's talking different, completely different. The numbers our offense is putting up with zero running game is out of freaking control. People cannot guard Justin Jefferson.
Oh, we knew that. He's been the best wide receiver in the history of the sport since he came into the league, and that's saying something.
You throw Adams in there, you throw Hawk in there. I mean, our offense is unbelievable. We hold on to the ball. Like our biggest turnover wasn't the last one with 0 seconds left on the clock.
No.
It was the one that
we didn't get. It was the one that Evans dropped.
If Hawkinson doesn't fumble that ball at the 20, they'll be going and score. We're up 7-0.
There are plenty of plays we can point at for the reason why the Vikings are 0-3.
I'm saying don't give the ball away.
That's obvious. They've had a lot of bad luck. Last year I said to you in the group text that they were the luckiest team in the history of football last year, and we all took it to being like, oh, well, they're clutch, right? But if you look back at all the 11 one-score games they won last year, a lot of those games they probably should have won by multiple scores. So they played down to their opponents, which the Vikings, we've always known them to do. And a lot of other games that they won against good opponents like Buffalo was thanks to them just screwing up. And I mean, Mike, you had something to say.
My thing was, Brad said we can't run the ball. I thought we started to develop a running game this last week. It's just, I'm sorry. I don't even care what Cam Akers can do. Madison cannot hold on to the ball. It is fucking terrifying watching him. I mean, it's fun to watch him run, but hold on to the goddamn ball. The other thing I think we should quick go through, and maybe Brad can make these calls, not giving up on the team. Like, I'm kind of fucking torn. It's not like our schedule is the easiest going forward.
Right.
Starting
and how many
0-3.
opportunities do you have to go 0-3 or go 0-17 and get the top pick in the draft?
So Brad,
especially with a quarterback on a 1-year deal this year, right?
So Brad, I'm going to read off. I'm going to read off the games. Wins are going to go first. So obviously we're 0-3. You score it. Keep ranking up wins and losses. Realistically,
I'll tell you this. We're going to be through the next 4 games. Our combined record, we will be 2-5.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Which is what we said in the last which I said in the last podcast that we might be 2-5 to start the year.
We can win. There's a hypothetically we win out though after that. We don't play anybody tough.
Right.
I think
look at the schedule.
We've got the
schedule.
Falcons
Don't mean shit.
I'm okay. Take the Falcons game then after we play the Packers, which I don't know if we can beat the Packers.
I think the Packers are better than us already.
I disagree.
I think the Falcons are sneakily fucking good. The Saints,
problem.
There's a coin flip. We should beat the Broncos, maybe.
The Saints offense isn't going to do anything though.
How do you know that?
We just played Philadelphia. Very good defense. Put up a shit ton of yards and points. We played Tampa Bay. That
was the worst game that Philadelphia has played in like 3 years, though. It was the worst game that Hurts had played in his career.
Maybe that's something that we show something different, because Tampa Bay is running the same shit right now, and they adapted to it, and they look good right now.
Oh, I didn't have a problem with Flores' scheme at all. If you give Herbert any more time than he gave him, he's going to pick you apart even worse than he did. Flores' scheme was obvious. He was like, let Keenan Allen beat us, and if they beat us with one guy, then so be it. And they did. The one guy beat us. Justin Herbert is better than Kirk Cousins, and Keenan Allen was just too much for our secondary. Just too much. Even when Mike Williams got hurt, they couldn't cover him, So, I mean, this secondary is not a top 5 defense or a top 10 defense like you had hoped it would be, Brad. And that's just not going to be a turnaround.
It's early on, though. When you blitz 81% of the time and you expect these young guys to make plays, that's tough. That is very, very
come close to the quarterback a lot and didn't get anything done. Yeah, you're right.
We had hands on. But I mean,
you got to give it to Herbert for maneuvering around the pocket, though.
I'm saying through week 7, if we don't beat one of these two teams, the Chiefs or the 49ers, I think we do a fire sale. Because what the fuck is the point of being another mediocre team, not having any draft capital, not having any money next year, probably not going to re-sign Hunter. Like, we might as well get something from these people.
Who are we going to fire sale, though?
Cousins, Hunter, Hicks.
We aren't going to get shit for them.
We're not going to get shit for Donnell Hunter.
Why would you? Why would you want?
Because he's averaging a sack a game.
He has.
Yeah. So why is somebody going to want to trade a bunch of assets away for a rental?
I don't know. People do it all the time
in the background. Is there somebody puking in the background?
No, it was my kids giving me food. They went out and got me food.
A dog, actually.
But I'm saying the thing is we cannot have a fire sale.
If we don't win a couple big games, we have to, or this team's not going anywhere. What do you think? What are you going to have for the playoffs when we're not playing shitty teams? We can't even beat the shitty teams right now.
Right.
So why do you guys root for the Minnesota Twins then? You know that we're not going to win a game in the playoffs.
Bullshit.
We're fucking due, Brad.
They brought back Homer Hankies, man. World Series are bust now, baby.
No, I'm just saying. I think there is no guarantee on hitting on a quarterback in the first round.
No, there isn't, but there's also no guarantee that you're going to have a quarterback next season. Like they certainly aren't bringing Kirk Cousins back. This seems obvious to me. And I mean, Cousins twice now has thrown the ball too hard for his wide receivers to catch late in games. And I think he's just stressed out. Like, he does not look like the clutch quarterback that was finishing games last season. He's just not the same.
I disagree. I thought he's looked very, very good. There's a couple of throws that he has messed up on.
That last play, I'm sorry. You cannot blame crowd noise. Fucking spike the ball.
No,
and we live to see 3 more down.
What the fuck are they doing? Wait, that's why I say after the game, I texted you guys that I'd rather have Staley as a coach. Brandon Staley over
Staley made that
Kevin O'Connell, because at least the guy can get the goddamn play call in. It might not be the right play call, but at least he can fucking get it in.
But that's
and
still
he knows what he's doing. He's committed to what he's doing. He's going for it on 4th down. Don't give a shit. And he made the right choice in that situation too, because
that was not the right choice.
Oh, he dared Minnesota to fucking score with 25 yards to go. And I looked this up because I was curious as to how Kirk Cousins performs in the red zone, and it's not good. Our running backs can't do shit in the red zone. The closer they get to the goal line, the worse they get. So Minnesota's only scored touchdowns on half of the red zone opportunities this season. Alexander Madison has 8 carries for 5 yards in the red zone. And Cousins has completed just 47.62% of his passes inside the 20 with 2 INTs and just 35.7% of his passes from inside the 10-yard line. Now, it does get harder to complete those passes because there's less field for the defense to defend. But, I mean, that's indicative of a bad red zone offense.
The thing is, the Chargers did not win that game. The Vikings lost that game.
Oh, absolutely.
Number 1, time management. Cousins, if you can't hear the call, he should have said, hey, we're clocking it.
Why isn't that the first thing that you think, like, let's get up there and conserve as much time as possible because we've had trouble scoring the ball in the red zone?
I think
that's fair. That's fair.
My thing, how many times during the game, and Tony, I get it, Tony's always fucking negative about every Minnesota sport.
Well, they give me good reason to be.
Right. He is right. How many times do we come out of the huddle so goddamn late?
All the time.
We're
with
at
12
home.
seconds left on the fucking play clock. We're getting set into our fucking our stances, and then you read the defense and you've got no time to fucking make an adjustment. So what the fuck?
My other thing is,
this team looks best when they run the 2-minute drill. Frankly,
I'm not blaming Cousins. I'm pissed off at him because he should not need a head coach to give him the fucking play.
Nope.
In this offense.
Nope.
He didn't. He called the play. He called the same play that KOC
called the wrong play.
No, he called the same play. They were on the same page on what they were going to call.
You know what the right play is? Spike the ball into the fucking ground. Get to second down with fucking 30-some seconds left, so you got as many plays as you can to fucking score a touchdown.
Or maybe fucking Hawkins should catch that fucking ball because he hit him on the numbers.
He hurt his hand on a helmet. That was what hurt. Although he did catch, I think, 2 balls after that injury, and had our only first down. Our only first down in that drive, and our longest play from scrimmage, 9 yards on a 4th and 5. We had to go for it on 4th down so fucking much just to stay in this game. We should have won. We should have lost by a lot more. It should have never come down to that.
If we don't turn the ball over, though, it's not a game, and we win the game. That's our biggest thing. 8 turnovers through 3 games. You can't win that way.
They've been unlucky. They've been, ball possession has been bad. That's for sure. But you had to imagine that after going 11-0 in 1-score games last season, that they would regress towards the mean. And that means they're going to lose a lot of 1-score games this season, especially with the more difficult schedule that they have to play.
Just for the next 4 weeks.
I don't know. I hope they turn it around. It's just very scary.
I have no hope. I don't know why you guys. I
see the Vikings. I see the Vikings as the fucking Twins this year. They're in a garbage. The AFC North is probably one of the worst fucking divisions in football.
I don't know, man. Detroit's better than a lot of teams out there right now.
It's going to take 9 wins to win the division. 9 wins is all it's going to take. Mark my word on that. 9 wins.
No, I do agree. If we somewhat before week 8 turn this around, we're a damn near a 500 team. The schedule does open up where it's like we could take the division at the end because we played the division the last 3 weeks of the fucking season.
So
and give some time with our defense. Like I'm not.
Oh, I have no qualms about the way we've defended this season after last year. This is coming from someone who actually enjoys the game for entertainment and not for, rooting interest. Because it's just more fun to watch. I mean, getting pressure on the quarterback is just more fun to watch. So I appreciate Brian Flores making the game a lot more interesting on the defensive side of the ball.
We're still not getting the pressure, though, that we need.
No.
At all. And that goes to show you how weak the interior of our line is. I can't wait for Risner to get out there. I think he's going to be a big boost. I wish there was somebody out there at center that we could find.
There is some, even 0-3 though, watching their defense, there is some glimmers of hope that Ivan Pace talk about a fucking gem in the rough, man.
No kidding, right?
Lost.
Yeah.
No, and that's my thing. I mean, shit, Cam Bynum, what do you have? 15 tackles against the Eagles? I mean, like
tackles aren't always a great measuring stick for cornerbacks. It just kind of means they gave up a catch and had to tackle.
No, they're keeping the ball in front of them, though. They're making the tackles they need to make.
I understand, but I mean, it's just if you're going to leave them on an island like that, they're going to get burned for like franchise record number of receptions by the top receiver for the Chargers, Keenan Allen, who I think had 17 catches, which is crazy.
One quick question regarding the player I think we all thought was going to be a stud. Is Louis Sign going to ever break out?
Like, I don't know. It's not looking good.
He's got to see the field first.
Yeah, it's just that's rough to overcome a injury rookie season.
I don't know. Like I say, I'm not ready to give up yet.
I am.
If we lose to the Panthers, are you ready to give up?
We will not lose to the Panthers.
Oh my God, that sounds like a pretty silly thing to say there, Brad. Given this franchise's history,
we will not lose to the Panthers. We win by double digits.
I say you go ahead and trade. I mean, New York, the Jets are just obviously in need of a quarterback. Like they're literally anybody besides Zach Wilson back there. Well, except for maybe like their options currently available on the free agent market would get it done.
Cousins is actually the best fit for the Jets because I disagree. I think it'd be dumb for them to trade for a middle of the pack quarterback
like a Garoppolo or something like that.
Cousins is high end, borderline 10 or better. Like they're built to win right now.
Oh, they've got a top 5 defense, that's for sure.
So what does it take though? What is your guys' sexy pick? They got to give something good. I want something good.
We'd have to get their first. Yeah, we'd have to get their first round pick that they're going to keep from Green Bay since Rodgers isn't going to play 65% of snaps this year.
Are those conditional picks tradable though? Can you trade them?
I would hypothetically say you can because they're conditional on how you play. You know what I mean? So
by the end of the season, that'll won't be a conditional pick. It'll just be a pick. So I mean, the day of the draft or before, they'll be able to trade whatever pick they want, I suppose. They do have a number 1 in 2025 and 2026 though, too. They've got 7 picks in both of those years. So would have to take some money back, I'm sure, because I'm sure their cap situations.
No. I heard on the Greeny show, Get Up, if we trade them, it's only $10 million against the cap for the New York Jets this year, and then it doesn't cost them a dime. They don't have to bring him back or nothing. So they still have availability to have Aaron Rodgers.
Be a pretty great opportunity for Kirk Cousins, don't you think? Going into free agency with a defense as good as the Jets, all he's got to do is not lose the game. Just don't be Zach Wilson, and you can compete for a championship.
Zach Wilson at his best isn't even comparable to Kirk Cousins at the worst. And we always want to criticize Kirk, but I mean, I think you need a haul if you're a Vikings fan for it. I mean, I really do.
I've been one that hasn't criticized Kirk all that much. Like I know he's a great quarterback, and we're blessed to have him. He throws a beautiful deep ball, but he just does not have a clock in his head. And edge rushers are just getting so much better. You've got less than 2.5 seconds to throw the ball now, and he doesn't move well. He doesn't sense the rush, and he turns the ball over a lot in those situations. Our
line's got to help out a little bit, man.
Our line has been beleaguered by injuries. You lose your center, and now they're going out to get Risner, a free agent who was retired. In retirement?
I think he was kind of just holding out.
He was just waiting for a job.
Not that old.
I mean,
I don't. He thinks he's worth more.
This team, obviously, I mean, we've struggled to run the ball for more than it's not all on Alexander Madison.
I think something we're not considering either, though, is I think the biggest hiccup to trading Cousins is going to be Jefferson. I think he's made it clear, like his numbers, if cousin leaves, are not going to be what they are. He's not going to be the best receiver in the league if he doesn't have Kirk Cousins.
They still are going to pay him like he is, though.
Will they, though? Without a quarterback?
Yeah, when you draft a rookie quarterback and you want them if they have an absolute security blanket, multiple security blankets. Hawkinson.
Do you think Jefferson want to stay without
it? Play with a rookie? It doesn't make any difference. If he gets the money he wants, he's going to stay.
He's going to get the money anywhere.
So you think he's just going to play out his existing contract until he can hit free agency and play where he wants to play?
He's played with Kirk Cousins. That's what Kirk Cousins did, man. He's just teaching the young bucks how to play the game.
Force a trade like Stephon Diggs.
If the Vikings go and tank, I 100%, unless he's saying, this is the quarterback I want you guys to draft, this is who I want to play with, I ain't signing shit. You guys can offer me $300 million a year, and I'm not going to take it. That's, I think, where we get in this thing. They got to play it out. They have to play it out.
Well, yeah, they got to play the games. The Vikings have shown up for the games. They've managed to fail to make a draft pick a couple times, but
Cousins is on pace to throw for 6,000 fucking yards this year.
Yeah, yards don't mean shit, man. Points.
He's leading the league in yards and touchdowns.
Points.
He's done his fair share.
I'm not disagreeing with you. Points.
Touchdown.
And you are exactly right too. That fucking interception that turns into a fucking touchdown. Like, Evans. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Yeah, you
and dude, I have nothing but praise for him. He made a hell of a play on the ball.
Got to finish it though. I know you got bricks for hands. That's why you play defense, but you get both hands.
No, but it's just it seems like every fucking break is bending away from the Vikings this season.
They've been incredibly unlucky so far this season. They've been the most unlucky team in the NFL. And when you are, 75% of NFL games, I think, are close games in the fourth quarter, which means they're one-score games, I believe, going into the fourth quarter.
Okay. Real quick. If we still have this luck, what is our optimism right now at 3-0? These are 3 games we probably could have won.
Oh yeah, probably at least 2 out of the 3. I say if you end up starting 2-5, you're going to lose 1 to Detroit and 1 to Green Bay, maybe more than 1 to either of those teams, and that'll be the difference in making the playoffs and not.
If the Bengals lose tonight, are they having a fire sale?
No. But
that's a hell of a better team than what supposedly we have. Our offense.
No, it is a better team, as indicated by their playoff run last year.
No, I think what really we need to do to turn this season around is beat the Chiefs. I don't know if this team can beat the Niners.
No, I don't think there's a team in the NFC that can beat the Niners.
The Chiefs don't look that tough this year, man.
No, they don't.
Not yet. They don't. Just
that's the problem.
How good they're going to be when the AFC Championship game comes.
No, around. but that's the problem with. And I do love Kirk Cousins, but that's the problem. If you look at the teams that are dominating, they're not paying their quarterbacks anything.
Nope.
The Dolphins, Jesus Christ, talk about the funnest offense to watch.
You got to have value at that position. You got to have somebody on a rookie deal so you can pay everybody else.
And you have to get extremely lucky. So tell me this. Who is the team that scares you the most in the NFC? It's got to be the fucking Eagles. Maybe.
Actually, no, it's the Niners.
It's the Niners for me.
Because if the Eagles lose Hurts, I don't think that they're as good as the Niners could be without Purdy, which is scary. The Niners could play with just about anybody back there, it seems.
Yeah.
So track record is bad when we go play the Niners in the playoffs in San Francisco. We usually get our ass kicked. I'm saying there's 1 to 2 teams that we have to compete with to possibly have a chance. And maybe we're the New York Giants of the Tom Brady eras with Eli Manning as quarterback.
They had elite defenses, elite pass rushers.
We have an elite pass rusher. We have
the key to those victories over New England, all the victories over New England, is being able to get to the quarterback with 4
and do you know rushers. What their records were when they went into the playoffs?
Oh, it was terrible. They started 0-3, I think, too.
Thank you.
But the Giants have a little bit better franchise history than the Vikings do, if I do say so. It's not even comparable.
Got to come to an end, doesn't it? Just like you guys saying, we're going to win a game. Twins. It's got to come to an end.
Championship run, lack of championships is going to come to an end first before the Vikings end up fucking.
I'll take that.
Well, no. Speaking of that, though, can we at least talk about the Minnesota team that's guaranteed to make the playoffs instead of one that's got like a 5% chance?
Please, let's. I've been really jazzed going into Baseball Reference to look at stats to see who should make the Minnesota Twins playoff roster. You can dress 26 players. They're a weird team, the Twins are, and that they're the worst playoff team, but the first in the American League to clinch their division. It's the worst division in the history of baseball, boys. Thank Christ. And they're gonna win all of the bets that we made, right? They're gonna get 85 wins, and They've already clinched the division. Money in the bank for all of us. We're all happy campers.
I've claimed one ticket already.
Yeah,
I've
me
got
too.
Ready.
Yeah. And they only need one more W's for 85.
Parlay.
I'm just saying we're a sneaky fucking strong team for the playoffs, in my opinion.
Well, now that we've got so much pitching depth, I feel like we can give anybody a problem. Anybody. So, Mike, this is your beat.
All right,
who should make the playoff roster and who should watch the games from home with Joey Gallo?
Okay, so tell me who you disagree with, you guys. I'll start off with pitchers. I'm going obviously in a 3-game series. I want more offensive players than pitchers because you're not going to need as many pitchers. So I've got Sonny Gray going game 1 just because he's not going to be able to give you the innings that Pablo will give you. And so then maybe if we go to a game 3, maybe Sonny's got a little something in the tank.
You want to start that game. Sonny? I know he's had the better numbers. His ERA plus is 154. Pablo Lopez's is 119. His FIP is outstanding, 2.85 FIP compared to a 3.39 FIP. But Pablo Lopez strikes out a hell of a lot more guys per 9.
No, he does.
Almost 2.
And the way I structure it that way, though, is then I use Maeda to come in and relieve Sonny in like the 5th or 6th inning. And then we can still use Maeda for game 3 if it takes 3 games. But so, yeah, Sonny Gray, Pablo Lopez, Maeda. And then it's either Bailey Ober or Louis Varland. I'm a little torn. There's going to be some guys that are going to be left out of this that I wish.
Joe Ryan is not on your list?
Joe Ryan is. He's my possible game 3 starter. Also the same with Ober or Varland. They're going to have very short leashes, though. I'm not sold on this shit coming out of Twins country about, oh, look at how great Joe Ryan was before he was playing injured. He hasn't rebounded as well. So
he allows more hits and homers than Bailey Ober, too.
Yep. And then you got obviously Duran, Jax, Thielbar, Pagan. I flip ship on Pagan. He's pitched very, very well after the All-Star break. Then I give a wild card. I give Paddock the chance to stay with the team because he's just bringing some nasty stuff right now.
Throwing 98 in St. Paul.
And then my last is either Louis Varland or Brock Stewart.
Just
probably Stewart if he's healthy.
They got these next 6 games will determine whether or not one of those two is on the postseason roster.
Or if you want to get a little funky, because we don't really have any left arms other than Thielbar, Cody Thunderberg.
I love Cody Thunderberg.
He's not a lot of experience, but he's pitched well. And I think in the 7 or 9 games he's pitched.
Yes. Yep.
So those are the pitchers. I make it 11 pitchers. Catchers, obviously, it's going to be Jefferson Vasquez. There's no question about that. Infielders, I don't even care about where they're at on the injury thing. Fuck it. You got to put them out there. Correa, Lewis, Polanco, Solano, Kirilloff, Farmer, and then Julian, who I would primarily have DH for the Twins in the playoffs.
Because
outfield, I got
liability.
Yep. But you need that bat. You need his bat, Lewis's bat, and even Correa's bat.
On Sunday, he was one of 5 Twins in the lineup that had OPS, posted OPSs over 800. Him, Kepler, Polanco, Wallner, Kirilloff. Jeffers didn't play. He leads the team in OPS with an 841 and OPS plus as well as at 130. Obviously, he's going to be there.
No, and maybe got to be nice to see Vasquez flip a playoff switch and like turn back into a good catcher like he used to be before this year. Then my outfield is Wallner, Taylor, Kepler, Castro. And then I have Andrew Stevenson instead of Buxton. I don't like the idea of Buxton being on the playoff roster unless he's 100%.
Unless he can either play elite defense or hit at all.
His numbers with the Saints coming back off that injury, he's got 12 at-bats. He's not batting well. He's still striking out, and they're using him in a DH role. To me, I love Buxton to death. He is one of the Twins' faces of the franchise, but you can't have him DH in the playoffs. You can't steal a bat from Julian or Polanco. I mean, you just can't. So I would give him the first round. Maybe he can get fully healthy, but if he's playing, I want him in center field. Because what can he do unless he can come off the bench and steal a base, which they're not going to let him do because he's going to hurt himself. And I don't want him to come in as a late pinch hitter because he strikes out too much. 26th man would be a wild card player who would provide opportunities for pinch hitting or base stealing. So I'd either have Austin Martin or Brooks Lee. I understand neither one of them has played in the majors before. We did it with Kirilloff before. One of those two. Brooks Lee would be fun for the fans because just like Lewis, he's like the second coming of Christ. And I would possibly trust him late inning of a game to come in and pinch hit to pitchers that have never faced him before. So yeah, that's my team. I understand a lot of people are throwing Buxton in there just because he's Buxton, but I think if we really want to try to get that fucking chip off our back and win a playoff game and maybe a series, you can't be thinking about players' feelings or anything. I mean,
Michael Taylor has been a better contributor to this team throughout the season.
Willie Castro's been a better contributor than Byron Buxton by a long
Willie
shot.
Castro can play center field too. Yeah.
The Andrew Jones effect. Maybe one of these guys that gets brought up at the very end.
Yeah.
No, I agree. And I don't see many people putting Stevenson on the lineup. I like having a little speed near the end of the game for like Solano. If he gets on first base, you got to bring somebody in who can swipe a bag, and Stevenson could do that.
Yeah.
The reality is if you look at our team, other than Taylor and Castro, we don't have a lot of base stealers. Lewis can, but he's going to have the hammy problem. So, like, you've got to have somebody that can swipe a bag.
Is game one the series?
No.
You think we can lose game one and still come back and win?
Yeah.
I don't.
Actually, yeah.
Actually, I like our chances with our third pitcher over their third pitcher than actually our first over their first.
Actually,
I suspect we'll lose the first game. We probably end up losing 20 straight playoff games before we get our first win.
Take the teams we could play. Toronto, right. They got a 1-2 punch, but I like our number 2 punch.
Right.
In either order better than our old guy Barrios.
Mm-hmm.
And then Seattle, the same thing, except those kids are a little younger. And then fun. I mean, I'm scared of facing the Astros because they've had our number, but their pitching depth is not what it used to be. Like, they're not the giant that they've been. Their offense scares the shit out of you, but their pitching doesn't.
Yeah, they got a lot of, great postseason performers. We've got one of them, though. Carlos Correa. Let's not forget, the man is top 10 in postseason home runs, RBI, and win probability added. All time. That's crazy.
No, and my Twins MVP for the playoffs, I'm calling it. It's going to be the old man, Jorge Polanco. I think he's primed to go off.
Finally healthy, and we're seeing it, in the results. It's really nice to see. Yeah, that was. Remember when I was at Twins Fest and I passed him in the bowels of Target Field and asked him how he was feeling. He says, "I'm feeling great," and then we didn't see him play for.
So you gonna make it to that? You gonna make it to the first series, Tony?
I mean, if Brad comes out, yeah. I mean, I'll probably go just cause. Tickets are a little pricey. I'll see if I can't snag something on the secondary market because I don't think that there's going to be
huge cheapen up
demand. Yeah, there's not going to be huge demand.
Cheapen up.
But yeah, I mean, sure, I'd like to see a fucking playoff win live for the first time since 2004. Yeah. I mean, shit. When was the last time I saw a fucking playoff win live? Never. So
how about this? When's the last time I went to Minnesota and watched the Vikings win a game? I don't know, fucking 9 years.
Yeah. I've probably seen the second to last Twins postseason win against the Angels in the ALCS in 2000. What would that have been?
Yeah, that would have been way before my time. I was still in middle school.
2002 or 2003?
2002, I believe. I'm looking at the Houston Astros lineup, or their number one is great, but they're not deep in starting pitching. at all.
And they lost Verlander too. I mean, they lost their whole push for the another World Series.
We can definitely beat 2 of their starters. It's probably not going to be Valdez though.
My only thing watching this team, it's so fucking hit or miss. There's some games where they just have 12, 13 strikeouts, and then there's other games where it's like you're forcing the starting pitcher to get up to 90 pitches in the 5th inning. Like you're taking long at bats. Like that's
why I think we did where we are going to set the record for strikeouts in a season, but that's a byproduct of being that patient at the plate. Is they see a lot of third strikes go by. The problem was when they weren't hitting earlier in the season before the All-Star break, is they were not jumping on nearly enough first pitch strikes, and see they've seemed to figure that out. So let's hope that they attack first pitch strikes in the playoffs. Just keep that approach going, and find a way to win one. That's all we want, right? We popped the cork for Carlos Correa because we felt like we had a chance to maybe win a playoff game.
I'm getting greedy with the American League. I'm getting greedy. I think we can steal a fucking series.
I think so too. All right.
I agree. I hate to agree, but
look at Brad. Usually he's the me when it comes to the Twins. He's well, this team isn't going to do shit.
I'm just different. If you don't win game 1, I think it's over. I think mentally, this team, it's just we're done.
Crumble.
I'm gonna tell you a secret, which the odds are game 1's gonna look like our pitcher's gonna hold them to fucking 1 run. It's gonna be a low scoring game, and Vegas is gonna have us losing that game because they're fucking smart. Like
we'll be underdogs in every game and in any series.
I'm not going to give up on them if they lose the first game.
No,
I think I called it weeks ago that we lose game 1 3-1,
and we might.
Yeah, we might. But I still take our number 2 over there. Anybody else's number 2, just about. So
Pagan gives up a home run in the 8th when it's tied 1-1.
That would be something. That would set Mike off. He might have a heart attack if that were his case.
Especially since I'm saying nice things about him now.
You better watch the game together just in case you got to drive your brother to the fucking hospital, Brad. All right, let's get to the SB Live Minnesota Amateur Sports Star of the Week. We're running out of time, 3-minute warning, so I'm just going to go to the gold medalist. Each week I report the best high school athletic performances in the state of Minnesota for SB Live, part of the Sports Illustrated Media Group. You can vote for your favorite by following the link in our show notes or going to scorebooklive.com/Minnesota and clicking on my byline. That's my name in the article. So this week, this guy, we would have liked to have this guy playing for the Vikings or these type of numbers. Junior Camden Hungerholt of Leroy Astrander High School finished with 384 total yards, rushing 40 times for 256 yards and 3 touchdowns in a 24-21 win. They had to have them all, every single one of them. He also had 5 solo tackles, 7 total tackles on defense. He leads the state in rushing yards with 1,029 and rushing touchdowns, 17. I think they played 3 games.
Jesus fucking Christ.
3 or 4 at most. Yeah, the season's 4 weeks old. He's got 17 touchdowns. That's a horse. That's the type of quarterback I want. I'm tired of these, statuesque white men looking over the line and dropping, passes across the middle to guys 6 yards downfield.
Okay, so here it is. Trey Lance. Would you give him anything?
I don't know.
Or would you rather have Deion Sanders' kid?
I'd rather take prime time.
I would take Caleb Williams.
No, I like Brad's idea. Fuck it, man. Let's go for the glitz and glam again. Prime time. Deion Sanders fucking be like the quarterback coach. Just fucking go all in.
Yeah, because hey, this franchise has never won anything. Clicks would be a good thing for them to win.
Yeah.
But Justin Jefferson has been pretty good for that too. People
speaking
like
of that,
him.
10 second thing for me to waste. What is the deal with fucking college football promoting the fucking goddamn USC game? Like Coach Prime has a chance against USC after they got their asses kicked by Oregon.
I know. Yeah, but they have to promo it, People will tune in just to see him lose.
That's what it is. That's what it's about.
Unfortunately, it's a race thing. I'm pretty sure
they're going to cover the spread though this time.
Yeah, I doubt it. All right, that's been our show. I'd like to thank the brothers Haas for joining me and the Twins for making the fucking playoffs. Way to go, boys! All right. If you want to find us on socials, you can get us on YouTube at Minnesota Foul Play-by-Play, on TikTok at Minnesota Foul Play-by-Play. You can find our podcast at gogonzajournal.substack.com, as well as Spotify, iTunes, etc. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sticking with us. We'll see you maybe next week or a couple weeks later when Kirk Cousins is traded.
No.
Love you, boys.
Towel yet.
Go Twins!